the love, hanging on with push and shove. Possession is the motivation that is hanging up. The goddamn nation looks like they always end up in a rut. Everybody now trying to make it real compared to what? Come on, baby.
Hello everybody, I'm Dan Pascucci and welcome to another exciting edition of Everything But the Kitchen Sink, Mansfield Cable Access's premier talk show within our time slot. As always, it is a pleasure to be here. It's just one of my favorite places on earth. It all happens here at Mansfield Cable Access. And as for us, if you want to get a hold of us for any reason, now that means if you would like to be a guest on our show, if you'd like to recommend a guest, you have a question for one of our guests, you agree with something we say, you disagree with something you say, you want us to say happy birthday to somebody, if you are some sort of a talent, like a musician, we've had Sasha Yashenko, Robert O'Connor come in, and we can't take the Philharmonic Orchestra here, but you can accommodate one or two people, sleight of hand, little magician, any particular talent you want to show. The all-purpose way to get a hold of us is through our email account, and that is at mansfieldkitchensink@gmail.com, right there on your screen. Perfect every time, courtesy of our real good friend, Mr. Jack O'Neill, who is the best there is as far as taking care of everything here and making us all look good week after week. Someone's got to do it. Jack drew the short straw. Also, we are on Facebook at facebook.com/MansfieldKitchenSink. Catchy, isn't it? Okay? And we are on talkmansfield.org. So you can get a hold of us all those places and be happy to respond to your requests and answer questions and whatever else you need, card tricks, weather reports, you name it, we're here for you. Now what we do is you think it was Christmas again, but we say 'tis the season. And this has a whole different meaning now, and that is 'tis the election season. And we tend to get pretty busy around this time. We as usual, we offer candidates that are running for office, local, statewide, national, worldwide, you name it. You're welcome to come here and speak your piece. And so we'll be getting some candidates, and tonight is no exception because we actually have a candidate with us who is running for something, and we're going to introduce. I'd like to introduce our special guest tonight, who is running for Massachusetts State Senate, Bristol, Norfolk, and that means if you're in Mansfield, that is your senator. Okay, and he's running against our current state senator, Jim Timilty. I'd like to introduce Jeff Bailey. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. Glad you could make it.
Thank you for the invitation. Glad to be here.
Okay, now you are, amongst other things, you are a pastor?
I am.
So are you Pastor Jeff Bailey, or are you Jeff Bailey Pastor?
I am, for the purposes of this office, I am Jeff Bailey Pastor.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Well, welcome to my kitchen.
Good to be here.
You have the honor of being the first candidate this year. Okay. I imagine first of many, because we do pretty good with the candidates. So this is a good place if you want to be a candidate, because we don't do debates with other candidates here. We give you, I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions. You'll have ample time to get your message out.
Appreciate that.
And if you want people to get a hold of you, we'll make we have provisions for that too.
Okay.
So again, you are running for state senate.
Correct.
Okay. Why are you running? What prompted you to get in throw your hat in the ring?
There's actually a lot of reasons why I felt this was the right time and the right thing to do for me. I began to look out at the state senate. I was concerned with the direction that the Commonwealth is going. One of the greatest concerns I had is I was looking out at the congregation, looking in our community, saw that across our state we've lost 356,000 people to our state, primarily to the south, because we just don't have the jobs and the living arrangements that they can afford in order to be able to stay here in the area. And so I was greatly concerned about that. I also, as I was looking out, for the last 10 years I've run a private school. I'm sure we'll talk about that a little bit more later. But I was standing at graduation, looking out at a graduating class, and I said, you know, we're leaving them or sending them into a world that doesn't have as many opportunities as we once had. And so that was a great concern. And then I looked at the state Senate and I see the corruption. I see 3 senators in the last year headed off to jail. I see a former Speaker of the House. The last 3 Speakers of the House have been convicted felons. And I just believe the time has come for new voices on Beacon Hill. And if the voters approve, I'd like to be one of those voices.
Oh, very good. Now, you're obviously in our district, and so where do you hail from? Where do you reside?
I am in Attleboro. And been there for 23 years.
Oh, so you didn't just move here to run in this election?
Absolutely
not. A lot
not.
of that goes on, you know.
Yes, it does. Yes,
okay.
It does. But nope, I've been there 23 years, same house.
Okay. You weren't born there. That makes you a carpetbagger.
Yeah, for New England it does.
Yes, okay. So excellent. So you're in Attleboro. Now, are you running as a Republican, Democrat, Independent, pedestrian?
I am a Republican.
Okay, very good. Now, do you have any political experience?
Not as a candidate or serving in elected office. I have been involved in various campaigns and have been very active in Attleboro and have been attending city council meetings for some time, watching the scene very, very carefully, and I said assisting other candidates in getting elected, but I've never been a candidate myself.
All right. Now, do you feel your obligation as a pastor will help or hurt you in this race?
Oh, I believe it's a great help. I know that some look at it as, you know, the separation of church and state thing. You got to choose between God and politics, but I see one as being an extension of the other. For the last 23 years, I've been serving the people of Attleboro. That's what a pastor does. He serves the community and works, and that's what this does as well. It's public service, it's community service, and that's what we've been active in.
Well, okay. As a pastor, I'm sure you do that everywhere, but I imagine you have a home base in Attleboro where you work out of.
I do.
And that is
Grace Baptist Church,
okay.
And then I've also been involved with Grace Baptist Christian Academy tied to it as well. So both of those things in the same ministry.
Okay. You're not the first pastor to be in my kitchen. We have a local pastor, Pastor Dave Aruda from down the street.
Okay.
And he's a perennial guest. He comes on
okay.
From time to time, and he's always welcome. But just, you know, so it's not, you know, you're not the first pastor to be here. I just want you to, you know, maybe the first one running for office, but I didn't want to.
I think we are anywhere. It's been kind of a conversation piece for most.
Now, do you know the incumbent senator?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so you know him on a face-to-face level?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
We've interacted on different occasions when I've been up to the State House and various other times.
He was actually a guest on our show once.
Okay.
And the funny thing is, I wasn't.
Okay.
Okay, I was actually out of the country, and our good friend Selectman George Dentino was minding the store for me, and he actually hosted Senator Timilty here. So I guess you know they get along, so that's good. So what is the incumbent doing or not doing that's compelling you to stand up here and?
My feeling, and really, I mean, my major purpose is to introduce myself, but certainly that's a fair question. My concern is that we're not getting the kind of representation that we deserve. I believe that a senator should lead public opinion, not follow it. My sense is that right now we have a senator who sticks his finger up in the air, sees which way the wind is blowing, and then follows that public opinion. I believe we deserve better than that, and I want to give this district better than that.
Okay. Let's see. You know the Democrats that in the area, they will do whatever they can to protect him, and there's several reasons. And I don't know if you do know him. You know that they do use him as a ringer in the local Democrat-Republican softball game every year. He's quite gifted athlete.
Well, we'll just have to help the other team.
There you go. There you go. So no, that's all good. And then. So this is your first campaign.
It is.
You're getting off the ground.
First one as a candidate.
As a candidate, yep. Now, you're going to have a website and everything?
Should have by early part of February. We should have our website up and running.
Okay. Now, have you taken out all your papers and everything?
I have taken out my papers. I am registered with the Office of Campaign Finance.
Oh, good.
So we're all set there. And it's still the exploratory, we're still much in the exploratory phase, but we're leaning heavily toward it.
Right.
Based upon the things that we've seen and the desire that we have.
Well, I have run in 2 elections, and let me tell you something. It's an amazing just an amazing thing to go through. It really is.
I have thoroughly enjoyed myself thus far, meeting hundreds of people, shaking hands. It's what I enjoy. I'm a people person. I enjoy people. It's been a great experience thus far.
Now, our district, that Norfolk and Bristol, or Bristol and Norfolk, encompasses Attleboro, Dover, Foxborough,
Dover actually has been dropped out of it.
It has the new. Oh, we just did
That's right.
redistricting.
New districting. So Dover is no longer part of the district.
Okay.
So it's Attleboro. It is Seekonk. Only part of Attleboro, but all of Seekonk, all of Rehoboth, Norton, Mansfield, Foxborough, Walpole, Medfield, and a portion of Sharon.
Yep. Okay, very good. Now, so you know you're going to have to expand out well past the Attleboro area.
Well, that's one of the reasons we're here tonight, is to begin to introduce ourselves to the other communities. And we attended a selectmen's meeting last week here in Mansfield. And
I actually saw you there. I went. I was watching at home, and something triggered me to run down there. And by the time I got there, the matter was taken care of. But it's not the first time I've done that, and won't be the last.
Right.
So I know you've been attending local meetings, and you're
just getting to know people and different events.
Yeah, it's tough getting out there and knocking on doors at this particular time of the year.
It's a little chilly, but we've had some good weather. Last week I was able to get out and knock at a few doors. The weather was warm, and
it gets dark early. And,
right.
You know, but that's why we have weekends.
Right. On Saturday when we had that really warm
Patriots are
Saturday.
doing everything they can to get in your way.
That's right. That's right. But that's okay. We'll
you don't mind, do
we'll
you?
let them do that. That's fine.
Yeah. Let's see, where are we now? Okay, what are the criticisms of the current senator is he's never held a private sector job.
That's correct.
Okay, and how do you differ?
Well, my experience is pretty varied. You know, my background is I've had several jobs over the years. I've done everything from paint houses to work on construction crews to work in the fast food industry to work in the restaurant industry. I've been a night manager of an apartment complex, and then I've been pastoring. I've been a teacher. I've been a school administrator. Our experience is quite varied, and I feel that's one of the strengths of what we bring is a varied experiences, having been in all kinds of different situations. And once again, you know, the senator's background is his background, but I feel I have a lot more to offer.
Okay, now you mentioned something about running a school, or?
Yep, in 2001, as church, we began a school, Grace Baptist Christian Academy. We started with 11 students and 4 volunteer teachers. Today, in that school, after 10 years, we have over 100 students, a staff, volunteer, and full-time faculty staff of 24. We have 22 classrooms. We're in 60,000 square feet. We started in 2,000 square feet in the basement of a church, and now running a full orb school. It's preschool right up through 12th grade. We have about 90 graduates. Some of them now are coming back to teach for us.
Wow, so
it's
an
exciting
accredited
stuff.
school then.
It's an accredited school, and our students have gone everywhere from, you know, 4-year universities. A number of them have served our country in Afghanistan and Iraq, and we're just excited and pleased with everything that has happened with that institution. But I administrated it for 10 years, taught full schedule while I was there in addition to pastoring the church. We've handed that off, and now I have a very able staff, capable staff, who are taking all of that on themselves, and I've stepped away so that I can focus on the next challenge.
Which I guess
is this.
Yeah, how about that, huh? Amazing. Okay, how would you rate the performance of the Senate in general?
I believe that the performance of the Senate, they've passed a few bills here and there that have been noteworthy and relatively positive, some that I wouldn't have agreed with. The casino issue particularly I would not have agreed with. But the real concern I have is the general direction. It is the lack of oversight, financial oversight. It is the overregulation, the overspending of our children's future. It is the corruption, nobody watching anything that's going on. My opponent is the chairman of the Public Safety, the Joint Committee on Public Safety, which oversees probation. Probation is the biggest corruption scandal that Beacon Hill has seen in years. He should have been overseeing it, but he hasn't. And wasn't. I believe that him in particular, but also the Senate as a whole, have not been doing the things that they need to do. And of course, it is the Democrats outnumber, 36-4.
Yeah.
So I don't believe that the 4 are the chief culprits here. I believe it's the 36 who need to be doing a better job. And once again, we hope to get up there and maybe prod them into doing that.
Okay, yeah, I'm not I'll be honest, in full disclosure, I'm not a fan of the Senate president at all.
Okay.
And it bothers me that that our senator voted to reinstate her as president.
Well, that's usually the one vote that I object to the most.
Right.
Is
And
the vote for
that-
her
and
that
believe
he
me,
casts at the beginning of each session.
Yeah, and that was a real. I mean, you know, we've had votes on taxes that I didn't agree with, and votes on alcohol taxes and sales tax increases and this and that, which I really didn't agree with. But this one really bothered me the most because, you know, she had some very unflattering remarks to say about, you know, people and you know, particular people, not individuals, but particular groups of people that I think were unbecoming of the office. And we actually, you know, she was lucky she won her last election. We interviewed Tom Keyes. Who,
Yeah, I know Tom well. Tom's a great candidate, and I
Yep.
think he's got a real good shot. He's going after her again, and Tom and
Tom's mistake was he came here, and it was timing. It was after the election.
Okay.
But he